welcome back to the Theory Expo. I think we're gonna get into some good Star Wars energy because we had the Ahsoka trailer drop. All I know is I'm sitting here and like the rest of us. I remember I even text you, and I hit you with line. That's always the line when one of us text each other, like something random about just out the blue about someone, like some news must have happened. There's some right. And I was just hitting you off with a Sabine such and such or whatever it was, and I was like, oh damn, I don't think I could tell by his response. I don't think he.
I was like, hold on, is it a trailer dropping? And I started looking, and I started Googling, and I saw a new Ahsoka trailer, and I went to YouTube immediately, bro, and it just, man.
So, before we even start going, let's go ahead and... you ready? Let's do this.
Yes.
War is inevitable. One must destroy
Rest in
in order
peace.
to create.
Rest in peace. Big Steve.
We are no Jedi.
Damn.
I started hearing whispers of Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
What happens when we find Thrawn?
First time we heard our voice.
Such as you've never dreamed.
I thought she had a little accent at first. I think in real life she do.
I've spent most of my life fighting a war. That's why I'm trying to convince you to help me prevent another one.
Look at Mom, like, man, I'm tired. Mom, like, I'm tired.
She's still just as stubborn as ever.
I bet your master found you difficult at times.
Anakin never got to finish my training. I walked away from him, just like I walked away from Sabine.
I was wondering, did they
He
change?
never made things easy for me.
Hair's high. Look like they made her look more alien than the first. I don't know. Maybe I gotta.
As a Jedi,
the other trailer.
sometimes you have to make
Like
the
with her
decision
eyes?
no one else can.
Yeah, her eyes. I think.
But I'm counting on you to see
I don't know
this
why
through.
they think they're.
Nice haircut. Sometimes we have to do what's right, regardless of our personal feelings.
Buckle up.
If we don't stop Thrawn, everything will be in vain. You have no power.
Anakin spoke highly of you.
I'm not here to discuss my past.
We have
I was having discussions like,
Once
hey,
a rebel, always a rebel.
I got the little princess.
Look, man, I got chills right now. Two things. One thing before I wanted to just call back to something. I like how this was a direct call back, right? Yeah, to my man Kanan when he the Jedi Knight episode, actually the episode where he when he became one with the Force, when he went on ahead and he had to when he cut the ponytail with the knife. It was like a direct callback to that. I like that. But
I didn't even catch that one. Damn.
Yeah. Another thing too, I'm sure you had to catch it. I didn't watch any breakdown videos of this.
I didn't.
That when he said the Anakin spoke highly of you and that breathing in the background, the Vader voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you heard that, right?
No, I didn't hear that, B. No.
Let's make sure.
Yeah,
I ain't make sure.
Hell no, I didn't hear that. No,
because I'm like, oh, he said like when he said,
You have no power.
Anakin spoke highly of you.
I'm not here to
it was
discuss.
so subtle.
It's Vader voice, right?
Yeah.
Like I might, you know how you hear some things you want to hear it. In my mind, every time it played, I'm like, oh, I think that's Vader. One thing I like, man, about, we always talk about the different things and, Luke and all what didn't happen, this and that, the third. But when we grew up, it was Vader, right? And like the Anakin of everything, right?
Right.
Like I just like the fact that Anakin, you can have both, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole life with Anakin.
It is. Yeah.
And right, like, and people of this age, like people in this later kind of generation of Star Wars, they got Anakin. We got Anakin, but we got both. They got Anakin, right? So
you're right. Like, for the longest though, it was just Vader.
Yeah, she fought Vader, but it's Anakin. That ran like she was in there like Twilight of the Apprentice, getting it. But it's Anakin. Yeah, just like so, it's like when you hear it when she said it in the beginning of the trailer where it was like, I left Anakin, like that really is a pivotal moment in the Clone Wars when she left, right? She left the Order. Yeah. She had to leave Anakin, and she had to say that because the one thing these trailers was not doing, and that was one of some of the earlier leaks about the whole show was that they had casted a younger Ahsoka, right? And she says the line. She said, "I mean, we got the subtitles right here. I'm not here to discuss my past." Now I don't know how much they're gonna be able to dwell into that because my first note is, and this I'm saying this, I like this. They saying this. They say for me, this is a full-fledged continuation of the Rebels, just starring Ahsoka. Like,
it is.
Anything we get more for me, like for my expectation right now, is a bonus. Like I'm not going in thinking I'm about to get this just deep Ahsoka. I'll be shocked if I go in and we get a deep Ahsoka story. Like a for real, like I think you have to answer a couple questions, like why wasn't you in the trilogy, right?
The big game, yeah.
Yeah, you can't just be like,
why you sit out the big game?
Why you sit out the big game? Like you can't just be in the unknown regions. We brush that off. They're gonna have to say something. And Filoni, it's Filoni, right? I'm gonna expect him to give us something.
He's had to have a plan for years.
Yeah, you gotta have that.
He's had to have this written down.
But other than that, she just so happened that she was in the show. But this is Rebels continuation, right? Like for me, when I go in, I watch this show, and some of our first Star Wars type of conversations right outside of Mando. Some of our first Star Wars conversation was me talking to you because I was coming in like, hey, Rebels, and I'm going through it. I really, really enjoy Rebels, and it's one of some of my favorite Star Wars, right? I'm not saying it's a lot of people's, but for me, it's some of my favorite Star Wars, especially the story, the family. It's just, you got factions in Star Wars, and I relate to them for whatever reason. So this is just a continuation, which I'm perfectly fine with. I just want to see how they're going to get to it, right? Like, how are we getting to this and how we get into their story and how we moving on. But this trailer just sealed that for me, right? There's a lot of things to it, but it just like, okay, yeah, let's not anything I get for Ahsoka as far as specific to Ahsoka, right? Like some of that Anakin stuff. I mean, we got to figure right now we getting like we knew it, but we getting Hayden in some way, shape, or form. Either they going back to that Twilight of the Apprentice. I think we're gonna get a lot of that. We're gonna get a lot of, and I'm going on. I'm gonna stop. I just think if I look at from the trailers and I look at the show, there's a lot of things that we gonna get that's before they get to the mural. The end of the show is that. Like, I don't even think we getting like Ezra and like we're not getting to like current form Ezra. We're not getting current form Thrawn until like episode 7 or 8. I think we gonna get them, but like everything that in between before she showed up in Mando. I think a lot of this is gonna be before she showed up in Mando, right? I think a lot we feeling in that time period.
Wow.
I think that's where this. I mean, I think this is where it's at. Like all that stuff that they talking, have a conversations. Sabine got the long hair. Hera talking to Mom Mothma, and this might be the time where like Mom Mothma started because she started getting sick. Now I don't know if it was much later in the New Republic era, but you know how she was getting older, and I don't know playing that like they gonna make her sick early because she looked like. Whew.
Man, I remember in the books when she passed away, man. Like that was like a thing, like like her and Admiral Akbar were like back to back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that was like a thing, but in the original Force Legends now. Yeah. So you saying? Hold on. So you're saying?
Let me stop for a minute because I'm rambling.
No. I'm just not. I'm with you. I'm just because I got questions now. I got questions on top of questions. So you saying that you think that the time period, you think for the most part, all this is taking place before her appearance on that planet looking for Thrawn?
Was Corvus? Yeah, I think a lot of this is before that.
Because you see, like old girl changed her haircut and all that. Like she do got a different haircut. The old girl, the girl that was like the villain. From the Mando
baby
episode.
Girl.
The one that was the running the town, running the little
Morgan Ellsbury.
Morgan. Okay, yeah, Morgan Ellsbury. Okay.
Man,
see, that's the thing about so go back to what you just actually you was about to say before I cut you off. You were saying that you were talking about Sabine's haircut. See, that's the thing, because we always ask, like, when does the actual last scene that we see of Rebels, when does that take place? When she got the bob. She don't really look like she got a bob here. She looked like she just went back. At first, I was like, okay, is that the bob? Is this gonna end with the bob scene when she got the bob cut and
there's a moment.
And Ahsoka got the staff. Like, do it end with that?
There's a moment right here. So we know we get into that. So let me go back to that because the part in here where she taps the mural is the exact you see my screen.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's there. So we okay right here.
Are we picking up from that moment in the show and of Rebels?
I think we lead up to this. That's the exact when she does that. It's literally the same move.
Feelings.
Okay, you know what?
It's the same move.
Yeah.
Now, because I say a lot of. Let me go ahead and make sure I rephrase that. When I say a lot of,
she got on the New Republic fit.
Yeah. She what they call him, Blue Boy.
Yeah.
I think like this is them on that like later in the season where it's time to go get Ezra now. Like so when she said that line, we in about episode like if I'm just putting it out there, we like halfway. Maybe like episode 6 when she says she does the epilogue, right? She does the epilogue, and then she taps the thing because it's like she did. You could do the like you. It's like for like with the cartoon when she taps the mural and she say, they always think about what Ezra said. It's time to go find them, and that's when the Ahsoka show up, right? And then that's what that part where she say nice haircut. Now she didn't say that in the epilogue. But as far as the Rebels ending, right here, what we seeing this them now we got the Per Guild. We see the scale of them. They're going to get them, but I think this is like 5, 6, 7. I think all that stuff with hair talking, who you can go to because this does back to your point. This does rephrase open that discussion about when does the epilogue happen because. I wrote it off that this was like after Endor, but it can't. Me using what I just said, saying most of this happens after. Like immediately after Endor, right? Like this not immediately after Endor. This is like Endor happened. Mandalorian find Grogu. Ahsoka show up to because that's what she said. Where's Grand Admiral Thrawn? Now she thinks she know. She come to holler at She come to see Sabine, where they going right now. This is after the epilogue, but the epilogue happens probably like what does Mando start off non-BBY
5 years,
like 4 or 5 years after Jedi.
Wow,
this is season 2 Mando. Most of this is when this stuff happening. When she show up on Corvus, that's right before she go holler at Sabine. That's I don't know that. That's
right. That's your guess.
I'm saying it with conviction, right? That's what it happened. Like I was.
That was my question. That was my first question because the general assumption would be, I would think, is that if you're just going off just what that epilogue takes place after the war's already won, right? Or not the war is won, but for the most part, like you said, the battle of Endor.
Yeah. For what we knew all
like they pretty much the Empire's on this last leg. They've won. The trilogy is happening. The trilogy is happening. And then they finally saying, all right, now we won this war for the most part. Let's go look for Ezra. Let's complete our mission.
That's what I always thought it was.
Okay.
In my mind.
Because I always question
in my head canon.
I always question that if what we were seeing in the show was already post that moment. Now it's starting to seem like no, that moment timeline wise takes place during the Mandalorian. What we seeing in the Mandalorian, that 5 years after the Battle of Endor, or that 5 year, that 5 year gap after Return of the Jedi. Damn.
Yeah, we definitely like that epilogue. Put like this, or let's say it like this: that epilogue happened in the Mandoverse.
Okay, and I can in my mind. I think it's evidence
in my mind. It might not be. But I think just based on everything that's happening is leading up, I think that epilogue is a Mandoverse epilogue. It's not a.
I'm only gonna disagree.
Yeah.
I'm only gonna disagree off because I just feel okay. I'm gonna disagree.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say they had a mission and they failed, and this is like them trying to come back and her convincing Sabine. All right, let's do it. Come on, one more time. I got some leads this time. I found the old girl. I'm hearing about Thrawn.
Yeah,
I think the epilogue was them. Their initial first step, saying like, all right, they first try at trying to find Ezra and Thrawn. I think this show is about the second shot at that. Like, all right, that shot of redemption. Because she's referencing a lot of stuff here. She's saying I left. She's talking about how she left Anakin, how she left Sabine, basically, right? Like, at least that's what we think. That might be like a trick of adding.
Because that's what I initially thought it was a voice trick, really, as Hera saying that, which to me, in my mind, made more sense. That's why I said it to you instantly. Now I'm starting to believe like that's not the case.
No, I'm thinking so. We'll find out soon enough.
That's actually saying that, like I left Sabine, which is the question or a statement question that I have for you. Me, I'm trying to think of any reason Ahsoka would be training Sabine. And if you watch Rebels, so like you said, they ain't got to make the show like you had to watch Rebels to watch, but Star Wars ain't like that, right? If they did something, it happened.
Nothing, especially in live action or Filoni has ever done, it would suggest that even when Kanan Jarrus was training her, he wasn't training her to be a Jedi. He was training her to use a lightsaber. Well,
the dark saber.
The dark saber.
My point is, he trained her. Like he was working with. I don't want to say he full-fledged got her. She could do this, but he was training her, right? Yeah. So she couldn't replace what Kanan had already been doing. Right, like that didn't happen.
That would be odd for her to step in.
Doing like that didn't happen. So like, and you know my line is too. Sabine been nice at everything. Like, she genius level intellect almost. Facts. She got the Mandalorian weaponry,
and she an artist.
She took to the saber. She's the artist. She took to the saber. Like she used it for some episodes before she gave it to Bo-Katan. So like. I'm trying to think of any reason that she would be training Sabine, or could that one of my thoughts is, see, this is my thing about everything happening in the prologue happens in the Mandoverse. What you're saying probably is more likely, right? It sounds like more saying more sense, but I have a belief that this is happening in the epilogue happened in the Mandoverse, and not only did the Anakin of it all make her not want to train Grogu, but even something between her and Sabine. Because she was really adamant about not wanting to train Grogu. Right? Like, and she was like, she had to battle with the thing, but like, how does she know without nobody being around about attachments and all this and all that? Mm-hmm. Like being so I know it's true, right? And it's Filoni's voice because he wrote the episode. Right. And he's
wait a minute, hold on. What are you saying? How would she know about it?
I'm not saying how she know, but like she was adamant on it about what attachments do, and then would be willing to send them over to Luke like he ain't had almost as many attachments than Anakin, right? Them Skywalkers got attachments, right? But that's I'm going deeper than I really want to go on that one. My point is, there's a part of me that believes that when she just on face value, that when she said that to Mando about not training Grogu, it not only was it Anakin, of course, but this plays a part of that. And that's only with my assumption that the prologue is a Mandoverse. The epilogue is a Mandoverse event.
Okay, so you asking why? Let me offer something then.
So I'm keeping
offer up a theory here.
Let
me offer up a theory here, and we're gonna go to the part where I think it's evident. Well, just off the trailer, we can scour through the Rebels to try to find some type of evidence of this. But let me ask you this: is Sabine force sensitive?
And that's what I was kind of hitting to. I've always said this. Ain't never thought about it.
Like she puts her hands up. She put her hand up like she about to use the force. Like you don't do that in Star Wars unless you're using the force.
Yeah.
Or she begging for her life, which I doubt. I mean, she obviously losing this fight, and then there's an emphasis on you have no power. I think we about to find out Sabine got some damn force sensitivity.
Because
which is another can of worms, but still.
Yeah, that's a I'm trying to get that up. I'm trying to check something out real quick. That's the thing that makes me a little nervous. Not a little nervous, me a lot nervous. I kind of don't want to see that. Yeah. But I do ask the question. I ask the question all the time. Yo, Sabine nice at everything. You know, like even if you watch that episode when they went to the world between worlds and they had the kind of like wizard kind of person that was trying to help Palpatine and they were trying to decipher the Mortis. She figured it out. Was Filoni in his way of doing it or way of explaining it always hinting to that she may have been that, like, I don't know, but I just saying Sabine was nice at everything.
Something tell me that's like, because the Darksaber is its own thing. It has its own lore. You know, this whole idea that it's heavy and you can't control. You know what I mean? Whatever the armorer told Din Djarin, like, it's too heavy for you. You got to handle it a certain way. But from what I understand is, and I think Filoni being a disciple of George is a human not really supposed to be able to use a lightsaber, like especially not in battle. Like a lightsaber it weighs a certain way. It weighs a certain way, and it's used a certain way. It's meant to be used by somebody who's force sensitive.
Yeah.
Like that's always been the thing, like with George, and I think Filoni know that. And she took Ezra's lightsaber, like she got the green lightsaber, like she got his second lightsaber.
She used it a couple times.
Yeah, she used it. So it's
like episodes of Rebels. She
uses it. So it's like, if you, like you said, if you're looking for him dropping hints, I think that was it. Like you don't really like Han. Like what other Han using it to slice open the Tauntaun's belly to put the fat over Luke like that? It ain't that many instances where a regular somebody, a non-force sensitive, I should say.
That was the weird thing about Finn, right? That was the whole thing about Finn.
Right. Had they actually got together and made a story together, and then, you know, I think J.J. Abrams, had he done a whole trilogy, Finn would have been force sensitive, and that would have made for a better story too. But that's another converation.
Yeah. But like that was the thing. Like, and he was like, going with it.
That's sort of a rule. Is that like you know, even though they kind of broke this in the game in Jedi Survivor, where they have the bounty hunters using lightsabers, but it's always been kind of like a rule of thumb is that a force sensitive is only supposed to really be able to wield a lightsaber.
Yeah.
So I think we definitely we got some evidence here that is, hey, we heading towards that direction, man. Look at her right there, man. What is she trying to harness something? You know what I mean? It looks like she's trying to. You don't put up your hand to defend against. You know what I mean? Like you don't put up your hand unless you got something. Now she could shoot bolts out of her you know what I mean? She could like
gauntlet thing, whatever,
gauntlet or whatever.
Wrist work.
Because I do think a lot of her winning this fight is gonna be like her using like tricks from Mandalorian.
That kind of training that she had with Kanan, where she had to use. I think even I'll go through this, but there was like a moment where in that fight with her that she was able to, you know, use the. They let Satine, they let Bo-Katan showed that movement, but Sabine did it first, where she used her rope to get the saber and reel that back in. And I think in one of these moves, she used it to like take down you're basically using her Mandalorian skills to try to your point, get out of the fight. She had to use that when Kanan was training her and trying to get her to open up. But like you say, in that one move right there, when she's done, she ain't got no, when you getting whooped, right? She ain't got nothing on her face, but she getting like that will cause her to have her hand up like that, like you got me. Because Sabine, from what we know, even in this kind of situation, she gonna get into what she need to get into to you know, she's tactical, like in terms of like her fighting and all that stuff, and she would have a helmet on, keeping it a buck. But like doing that gives us the impression that she ready to go to work. Like she's trying to get that. She's trying to use the force. I hope that's not the case.
I hope that's not the case. Yeah, I hope she's just kind of. I hope even if they hint towards that, but never do. You know what I mean? Like even if that's sort of like I guess they would call it like a red herring, where like we think she's supposed to be force sensitive, but it just turns out she's just Sabine. You know, like you said, genius level intellect. Mandalorian, like we bringing back that Mandalorian spirit.
Yeah,
cool. But yeah, I hope she ain't another force. We ain't got another force sensitive just floating around out there. You know, that's pretty much not gonna be in Luke's school or going. You know what I mean? Like I hope not. I hope not. So let's go through the trailer a little bit more. Let's just talk about Baylan. The trailer opened up with Baylan. He got some words. Let's just talk about what Baylan kind of dropped a few hints here throughout the trailer. First,
Yeah.
he talking about war, which they kind of stole from Fallout. War never changed. He making it clear that they're pretty much gray Jedi. You know, they're not Jedi, but I think Bayline source, you know, it's pretty. We pretty much can surmise that he was at one time was a Jedi, having conversations with Anakin.
Yeah, like for him to say that, because it's like, you know, it's always those kind of theories, like maybe they came, you know, because of the world between worlds, maybe they came from this or they came from that. Less Filoni want to do the son, you know, the son and the mortis, right? And one of them is embodying the son, and the other one is embodying the daughter. I don't think Filoni gonna do that.
He ain't gonna get too deep for him.
I think
he wants you to follow this as a new story. And that goes into, I guess that will support my theory. Is I feel like Filoni wants this to be a fresh start. I don't know if I'm just again, I could be wrong, but I think he kind of wanted to be like, he don't want too much of a connection to Rebels. In that way, like he don't want you to have to see the end of Rebels.
Exactly. See all
to
four seasons.
We can explain kind of like what happened in Rebels with some flashbacks and just let you know that, hey, this is how we left Rebels. Now this is them coming back trying to complete this mission. I don't know if you know what I mean, rather than him picking up in the epilogue. Like
it may be like for me, like, oh, Rebels continuation, but like we gonna get introduced to Syndulla. We're gonna get introduced to Chop. Hopefully he have bodies. Those gonna be good for people who watched it, but like they're whatever they are, and then Sabine and everything that would be involved in, they're gonna be characters. They're gonna like Syndulla may be the armorer in terms of the exposition of what's happened between the end of where they left till up to the point where they're in the New Republic. Somebody got to play that role, right? Somebody gotta narrate what has happened. She may be that, and she just happens to be Hera, who Rebels we know was what she was for the Ghost Crew. But you didn't have to. I think he even said that, like, look, if you want to, it's always good to watch like the end of Rebels, the last season and episodes in the last season to get you going for this, but you don't have to watch it to be able to get this story. It's gonna be their story for us who I think Filoni gonna do that. Like I'm throwing that out there about the Mortis, but he's not doing that with them. Like this is gonna be the part about, you know, Filoni loved 66 Survivor, right? So it's gonna be about that story of like what part did he play around Anakin, because he seemed like the bridge that's gonna get her talking about Anakin, and then probably realistically having to deal with that, because that's probably what Ahsoka's story is, and having to the point where, you know, my theory, to the point where she walk up to Luke and say that line, "You're just like your father." She probably had to like put some demons. And he may be like the guy to having to get her there, like to reopen that. I don't know, but like, I mean, he nasty though. Like
yeah. Speaking of bodies, man, he got some bodies in his.
He initially got one.
Let me ask you: do you think these are all New Republic, or are some Imperials mixed up in here?
No, I think they all new. So what you got for you to ask that question? You must got.
I just know when she jumped on that ship. It's in both trailers. When she jumped on the ship.
Oh, when she run up on baby, run up on that girl.
Yeah, like that. They look like New Republic. They know, and these are all Republic ships right here.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, this is
man.
You know where Ahsoka show up, or Ahsoka. I don't know if it's
I've
this
spent
one.
most of my life fighting.
Where she pull up, and that's when she come in, and that's when she instantly start talking to her. I don't think it's this one, but it's like another scene in there where Ahsoka's pulling in. So now you're making me think, because like we do know from Mando that because they could be wiping out Empire and Republic. Like
yeah, I mean they feel like you know they don't work for the Empire, even though they're looking for Thrawn for some reason. But I just it just seemed like they neutral.
Yeah, because Thrawn gonna have his own setup. Like even what we saw in Mando, like they had that Shadow Council, but it was really like you say. What's my man? His right hand. I'm just doing the audio book right now. Heir to the Empire. What's my man that is his general?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
His guy, like
gray hair, gray mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So that whole Shadow Council on him, like Thrawn about to set up because Thrawn about to set up his own thing, right? He's the Empire, but he's setting up in his likeness, man.
Yeah, she focused. Well,
yeah.
I feel better about her character, by the way, too.
Yeah, I do too.
At first, I was a little skeptical. Now, trailer kind of a little bit more. I feel better about her character. Look at Chop.
There's one I want to throw out. There's one I want to throw out. There's one I want to throw out. I'm just gonna put this out. It's Theory Expo. This might be young.
Wait, Young Easy?
This might be young. That might be Ezra.
Damn.
Shit don't go right, man.
You think they got him? Woo-hoo-hoo. Got Ezra being turned into an
and I ain't just trying to say that just to say it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hope that ain't the case.
What give you, man? Give me your clues. Give me what led to that, because that's a hell of a one right there. Got Young Easy being a Inquisitor. Damn, that'll be so. That'll be sad, boy. I ain't ruling it out. I'm just saying.
No. I hope. It's a small percentage, right? I was thinking about him out there, right? Like Thrawn get back together with these like you say,
Gray Jedi, Dark Jedi,
Gray Jedi, Dark Jedi. They said they're no Jedi.
They're not even Jedi.
Whatever, what have you. I'm pretty sure they're, if not directly looking for Thrawn, is somehow under the willing to work with Thrawn. My thought is that may have happened over this time that they've been in him and Ezra been gone, that Ezra is now under whatever Thrawn put down, Ezra picked up.
You think
Ezra was always close. He was almost always close to the dark side.
Yeah, Ezra was.
And I didn't want to go mind control because I didn't know I wanted another word besides mind control, but it's some form. Like Ezra might be a weapon. Like in that part, I think there may be a moment where Ezra's a weapon. I hope that's not the case, but I would be uncomfortable if something happened. I should have said something. It's probably the dumbest thing ever said, but I'm putting it out there that there's an opportunity that Ezra.
I admire you.
When this is that he's a weapon.
Your bravery, pause. Damn, man, I didn't see. I did not. I didn't hear that one or see that one coming, man. That's wild.
Oh, it might be a true dash, but it's in my mind that.
Nah, I hear you though. But if you don't want to be like,
he's not going to be the same person that he came back, and there's an opportunity that in that moment that might be young. More than likely, it's going to be just one of a resurrected. Or that
all types of stuff could have happened.
Star Wars. They say in Star Wars, if you don't see the body, they didn't die, right? We've seen that too many times where that's just that age brother who who flew off and just going back into this trailer, man. Like I cannot wait for this show. And my mom being this is just this is the Rebel story continuing. It's just a Rebel story continuing. That it's like. Now I'm just here for what they're trying to tell me. So like it could be mid, it could be Tridash, it could be incredible. Like I have an expectation that's like I'm not wavering. And it is honestly it's probably just the connection that I have with that Ghost crew.
I think they banking on that. They banking on that. The audience and the fans and Rebels. Because that's Filoni's like baby, you know. Like I get it. Like we know he worked on Clone Wars all the way from the beginning. We know that's like an extension of George in a way, even though everything is, but this was like his baby. You
his
know what
story,
I mean? Like Rebels,
right?
Yeah, Rebels is his original story to tell, where it's like that's his crew. Like this I'm gonna make a story about this crew. It's Filoni's story, man. And so for this to be a second part, man, I think you're right, man. I would definitely say, man, this is this trailer, bro. I just felt like this just feel like Star Wars don't have phases, but this feel like we going into another phase that I didn't even see coming. You know what I mean? I didn't know we were shifting like this, but it's like, damn, we heard about the movie coming out potential. This feels this trailer, bro. This felt like they about to launch a whole new. Even though we ain't seen nothing else saying they gonna make a change, but this felt like the next phase of Star Wars, bro. This trailer is so well done, in my opinion. It just feel like we going into another, like a new age, a new direction. And maybe the Acolyte trailer come out, bro. And we like, you know that, but this felt like the first time I really saw the Mandalorian trailer, and then season 2 of Mandalorian. We getting Ahsoka's part. because that's another question I kind of wanted to throw out there too. You think this could be like a situation where it's kind of like Ahsoka featuring members? Because we might end up this part just might be, hey, by the way, I had a run here with the Ghost Crew. It's called Ahsoka. Like, it could be just that we're just seeing characters we're familiar with, and then we might just move on and just really just be following Ahsoka around. You don't get what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
I just wonder if we getting caught up in it because we both fans of Rebel, and we know what's going on. We know what happened at the end of Rebels. We know the characters that we're familiar with, and we know where the story ended. But there's a chance here, especially given Ahsoka's history, there's a chance here they might wrap this up. They might bring Ezra home, and then she be like, she chugged deuces. Like, I'm good. Yeah, it's been hey, I'm mission completed. And she might move on, and we might just be following Ahsoka around because she got her own baggage. She had her story. Remember how her character, because remember, she was a part of Rebels, but it was never her show, right? She wasn't she was never really a main character. They never
only got that
around.
one season.
Yeah, it was Ezra's show. It was, it was the Ghost Crew. She was just in there, like she dropped in and out. Now I just wonder, I'm asking you, are we getting too caught up in
About we, you mean me?
Really, both
I'm
of
helicopter. I'm helicopter.
Right. But you being like I said, more the expert on that show, and just knowing that there's other fans out there that's thinking similar to you. I'm just wondering, are as Rebel fans, are people getting caught up? Are we gonna get too caught up in this is supposed to be a continuation of Rebels, when in reality, no, because we forget that that's not her show. Clone Wars is more her show.
Yeah,
that's Clone more Wars, where her baggage come from is Clone Wars. Yeah, she had to deal with it in Twilight of the Apprentice, and she had her key moments in Rebels, but that's not her show. So I'm just wondering, because we might get a spinoff where they do continue Rebels. But I just wonder if we get too carried away, and is that going? We got to temper our expectations already.
Yeah,
to say to be like, hey, you know what? Damn, let me calm down.
Yeah,
because the moment we don't get that continuation of Rebels, we're gonna be like, man, but what happened? Hey, man,
I just told you, I'm good because I know it's gonna be a continuation.
Yeah, but it really ain't though.
No continuation.
Yeah. It might not be. I'm just saying, because I'm with you though. I want to see the continuation. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder about Ahsoka now. Like, man, are we attaching the Rebels to hers a little bit too much? Are we putting a little bit too much baggage on her from Rebels? Because that's not her story. Her story is Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars. She fought in the Clone Wars. She's a war hero from that. From what we know, she sat the big game out. When that being the original trilogy, she sat the Galactic Civil War out, but she did fight in the Clone Wars. She was Snips at one point. She was featured heavily in that story. She was featured heavily in Tales of the Jedi. She had episodes, but none of them were really Rebels. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't want to look up 7 episodes in and be like, hey, man, hey, where's
Jason Syndulla?
Yeah, where's Syndulla? What happened to, where they son at? Damn, is Kanan gonna be able to be a Force ghost? It's like, hey, bro. And I can see Filoni being like, hey, hold on, because this is his favorite character. We know that. This is his favorite character. Come on. This is his baby. He gonna have to remind people like, hey, that's Rebels. This is called Ahsoka. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think expectations should be tempered a little bit because we getting carried away. Like, we seeing it like, and I'm with you. I'm the same way because I'm like, oh, here we go. Sabine in there, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get towards the end of the season and they do wrap it up, and it's because it's got to continue on as the Ahsoka show. That's not Rebels. It's not called Rebels, and it shouldn't be. If when you really think about it, they should be able to have their own story. Their success or their overall mission didn't really hinge on Ahsoka. She kind of sat most of that out. You get what I'm saying? Like, she sat a lot of that out. She didn't really make the sacrifices that they made. Kanan had to die. You know what I mean? Like, Kanan had to go, and then she got pulled back. Like, she was supposed to die. She's supposed to die. She got pulled back in. So I just don't want to. I'm already like, you know what, man? Because I could see us tricking ourselves into thinking, and I'm talking about all fans,
Especially
thinking like,
me.
oh man, this is a disappointment, man, because they ain't even talk about. But it's like it never was really her. It's really not supposed to be that way. If you get what I'm saying, like it's not her show. She's not. Rebels is not her show. If anything, it's like the Clone Wars is her show. Rebels is a show she cameoed in. She did several cameos, but it never was it wasn't about impact. It wasn't about her. So it's cool that they again, I'm throwing this out there because I'm not saying that I want it to be one way or another. I'll be cool either way.
Yeah.
You give me this show about, I like Ahsoka. Ahsoka's a great character. You want to just give me she meditating and journeying around the galaxy, jumping around, cool. But if you also want to give me the continuation of Rebels, that's cool too. But I'm not gonna be mad if this ain't a continuation of Rebels because it's not her show. It's really not her show.
It's like no, that's because it's like I'm already seeing trailers and I'm getting into this. I'm like,
I ain't mean to throw a wet blanket on the whole thing.
No, it's absolutely right because it's like I'm already saying, hey man, Chopper better have bodies in the show. And it's really
if he
about
on screen,
Chop.
he should. Yeah.
But it ain't really about Chop. Like Chop is there for what he there for, and we moving on, right? Like that. If Chop don't do that, then he don't do that, right? Like because we don't know. Like they ain't showed Zeb yet. Zeb might have been what we got. We seen Zeb in the thing, and that was it, right? Like there may be individual. They may tell like, hey man, this is what happened to the Ghost. Now we're gonna have this adventure to go a through line as Ezra to go get Ezra. But really, we only get Ezra. But like this is really building up Thrawn. Like Ezra's the through line to get the Thrawn. That's how we're gonna keep some of the story long. But like we can go a couple episodes. Like it'd be like me if I go the shit start, the thing start, and I don't hear that noise. Dun, 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 dun. Looking around like, hold on, man. Like, that's what I'm expecting. We may go first 2 episodes, and we dealing with, like you said, that's a perfect way to put it. We dealing with Ahsoka's baggage. Because she got an awful lot. Like, she got an awful lot. Like, story's got to be like, the story got to be written. The story got to be told, right? To, like, somehow she ended up on Corvus. Somehow she ended up in Bo-Katan knew. So, like, Bo-Katan knew where she was, right? Like, whatever. But like, she had that intel on her, like, go to the planet. I think it was Corvus. Go to the planet, such and such. There you'll meet Ahsoka Tano. But like, she got an awful lot of. She probably been hopping planet to planet, like you say. She sat out the big gang. We got to talk about that. But then, even like we see the moment when Luke saves his father. Luke saves his father, and what that meant, right? We don't know the other side what happened, like when the second Death Star go down and everybody's celebrating and the Ewoks dancing and all that, like what Ahsoka felt through the Force. Do they show us that when it happened? You know what I'm saying?
Force goes down too. You're right. Your Force goes.
Yeah, what happened in the Force when that happened? Like, I am like you. Like you definitely said it. Like, and I know I said that earlier. Like, look, man, this show, what they throw at me, but I threw the caveat. I said, whatever they throw at me, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be tempered because I already know this is a continuation, and there's a good chance it might not be. You're absolutely right. There's a good chance, but
I'm just going off of season 3 Mandalore too, man. My bad. Go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, you're right because it was like all those things we thought, especially me, thought season 3 was going to be about, and it was going to be like you say, an opportunity for him to lead and such and such this, and then. Because this happened, A, B, C, and D, right? And none of that was the case. None of it was the case. This was wrapping up the story of Mandalore. Yeah, man. You got me in my proper place, man. Thanks, man. No, because I said
what are you trying to do?
I said it out loud. I was like, I ain't gotta worry because I already know this is gonna be a continuation. Hey man, how about if it ain't? What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna be all crabby like I was about the damn Darksaber. Like
and then Filoni goes, and that's what Filoni. That's what they do to us, man. Filoni's, and I can just see Filoni coming out and being like, well, "Why did you even?" Because John just did it to us. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's all about the just being on the other side now. 3 seasons of Mando, seeing how they did Mando season 3. I just see Filoni just coming out at the end and be like, "Why did you ever think it was?" You know what I mean? Like, and it's like. Damn, you know what I mean? We gotta now I get it. Like this has helped me understand. Like we talked about it, like the grips we came to on season 3 was just that was their story. Yeah. We get that now. this helps me understand even more now. Oh, like damn, we get too caught up in our own expectations. You know what I mean? Like we get carried away. I think that's a little bit more than the continuation of Rebels. But I don't want to make it sound like I'm just like I don't want that. You know,
that's realistic. No, that's realistic though, because she keeps saying it in the thing. I'm not here to talk about my past. It just did Tales of the Jedi with her. No, you bringing logic to it. I came off with the, hey man, this the continuation of the Rebels, and I can't wait to see. And they're gonna be on the Ghost, and they're gonna be flying around from adventure to adventure, and like they need to go back to Lothal and say this. They ain't gonna be doing none of that. Trailer was cold,
man.
Golly, man.
Hey man, you said the trailer was cold.
That trailer was cold.
That trailer was cold, bro. Bro, that trailer
was cold.
Wow.